Hello. What you see on the screen is something that I put together a while ago, and it's derived directly from FrameMaker. Only that it's a very simplified tool. It's focused specifically on acetate frame manufacturers, and it's intended for very novice designers, um, people that need help specifically with the nose pads and this area here where the hinge is placed. So it it works with the frame as you would design it for acetate milling, and the idea here is that you export these two parts either to Fusion 360 or maybe to Aspire to create the tooling paths. And it popped up because due to requests from actual acetate designers that needed this very specific help. So for more elaborate work, there is software out there that will take care of that. This is a very a simple tool, very quick and to the point. So I'll just explain this a bit. It's, as I said, it's based on FrameMaker, so you can import your own DXF file here, and the same rules apply for those shapes. Both for the front and also for the temple, you should import a straight temple just like that, just before bending, right? You will bend it here. So I'll go over these very briefly. For the front, you have, as usual, you can change the lens size and the DBL. This is good for people doing bespoke frames. You can play with the thickness and a few more things there that I'm experimenting with. Then for the nose pad, you can either remove it completely, or you can play with this pad shape, giving it the height that you need. And for example, the splay angle like that would be 7 right there. You can remove that if it's not the case, but if you look at it from the top, you'll get a really soft surface right there. That will help when going to another software to create those milling paths. Next, let's go to the end piece, and this was what kicked off this project, thanks to a few brands out there that wanted designers that wanted help with this part specifically. So what this app will do, it will define this flat area for you based on your design. So in this case, my end piece here is 8.4 in height here, and I can tell it how tall I want that to be, how thick, and that's 6.5 total here, as you can see there. And as I said, it will define this automatically. What I can do is move this left or right. So here, where it says flat area adjust, I can say, okay, let's go 2 millimeters to the right. And that's going to move there. Those 10.8 were the original was the original flat area that it devised from your drawing, and then it will automatically add this rounding. So the total the frame height here is 5, as you can see there, and I told this to go to 6.5 here, so the difference is 1.5, and that's the radius that you get. Of course, it would be desirable, depending on the tool that you will use here, to change this radius, and I will do that in the future, I think. Like I said, this is a work in progress, and I'm just playing around with it for now, but it has proven to help in a few cases. One other thing, we can instead of using this design here, we can go to soft. This was specifically requested, and it's to do a very soft transition here. So you can see that it's transitioning softly onto the lower thickness, and you can play with that fall off. So in this case, we have these, let's say, 20 millimeter distance. This is very arbitrary. I'm just playing around with thinking how the UX and how you might be thinking about what space you need here. So as you can see, it's 20 from the closest point here to here, and you're playing with this dotted rectangle, but I can say, let's give it 25. Okay, so that's going to give you an even softer fall off there. You can go all the way up to about here until it will stop a bit before the nose pad, so there is no interference there, but you can go smaller still. You can go 15. I want to try to keep the video short, but just to explain what this does. And let's move on to the temple. The temple, similar to what FrameMaker does, in a sense. There is a big difference, and you can import your own temple, and you can play with the thickness. You can bend it here as well. So for example, I want to give it a bend of 35. This works exactly the same as in FrameMaker. And there it is. You can bend it here and play with this distance and whatnot. But let's go to the temple thickness, and this is what I let's play with it straight again. Let's go back to 0, so it's easier to see. So I can define the temple thickness, which is 4. In this case, it will be, let's leave it there, 4 in the middle. At the hinge, it's 6, and at the tip, it's 7. But then I can start to play with how these heights fuse into each other. So flat area at the hinge here, and I can define, in this case, I have a flat area, depending on the hinge I'm going to use, I'm giving it 15. So as you can see, this is it's approximate. I'm playing with a very generic shape. If you have CAD skills, you should take this and continue working on it if you're not already working on Infusion or Rhino or whatever. But this, you can use this as a starting point, and it really helps with the simple parts, with specifying areas, generic areas for stuff. For example, the hinge placement there, the flat area at the tip. I'm saying that this is flat, but then I am flowing into the middle there, and I can tell you how much I want that fall off to be. For example, at the hinge. So I'm going to reduce. As I reduce this number, I'm reducing the fall off. So it's going to be sharper, like that. And I can also do that at the tip. Playing with these, with the area and the fall off, you can get very different shapes and finishes for that temple. If this breaks, it's because I am interfering. This area is maybe overlapping with the other area. Let's say in this case, it's supposed to take care of that automatically, but just in case. So that's a very soft flow there. And just to round up, this is right here in the same as the frame. Here's the FrameMaker app. It's just below, so you can play with it directly if you want to test it. And here you can export STL or 3DM files. I'm going to have to add a step file to take this to Fusion. I think Fusion might open 3DM. I'm not sure. And to wrap up, just quickly, these are the imported shapes in Rhino in this case. So this is a straight temple. This is the bent version. If you're going to mill this, you're going to mill this one, not this one, but this, at least it's for visual purposes. And yeah, so here we have the radius. As you can see, the surfaces are very neat, very easy to continue working on them. There are no multiple intersecting surfaces. This is the flow, the fall off, very soft there. And this is the STL version. So in the future, I'm going to add some more feature here for their hinges. And I also would like, based on a request that I had, to work on the other side. For example, work with the bevels here, and well, any other requests that might pop up. But for now, I'm just going to throw it out there and see what people say about it. So thanks a lot for watching.